I'm cool with that. I'm good with that.
Yes, sir.
I have myself a good morning. I wake up early on Saturdays anyway. I ain't like, we older now, D. Back in the day, you be out, partying, hanging out on a Friday night, want to sleep in on a Saturday night. I wake up early like I do during the week.
Right.
I, run my errands and whatnot. Now I got a purpose to hurry up and run them errands and get on to the house and get ready for some football at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. 11 a.m., brother. 11 a.m. And we're going to get to see what we got going on. What have we been working on thus far for the spring, man? So let me give the first shout out of the night, man. The only shout out of the night is going to go out to my homeboy, King Judge, Mr. KJ Production. What it do?
KJ Production in the building.
Judge, what it do, baby?
King Judge, what's going on, man? I'm going to shout out these businesses real quick, man. Shout out to Tanya Teddy, Chisholm over at Catan's Fashion, Matt Hall over at Plum Life, Chris Flanagan over at Avalon, Shanika Pendergrass, Herb, Velocity, Joe Novateri, and Hollis Watts over at Rush Box, Jacinda Kirkland over at Sugar Coated Cupcakes and Sweets, LLC, Bobby Sarah over at Mentor Me. Bobby Sarah, what's going on, big dog? Gonna be talking to you real soon, big dog. Jesse Lamberg over at Naturally Born. Shout out to my homeboy Wiley over at Unique Stitches that be bringing you all of the Utah merchandise. Shout out to Marquez Williams, man, over there at Pop Socks. Cool, crazy, and wacky socks, man. Check him out over at popsocks.com. And shout out to my boy, man, Leroy Vien over at Studio Orthodontics. What's up, Leroy Vien? What it do, man? Shout out to Adrian Braswell for the artwork and my boy, my co-host, my big dog, Mr. E. Grizzy. Shout out to my boy E. Gray, man. What's going on? Just Saying Sports in the building. The music you're going to be hearing tonight is Young and the Boy and Coach Star. Let's get into it, man. Y'all already know what it is. It's You Talk, baby. Let's go.
Conquistador.
It's You Talk, baby. It's You Talk, baby.
E. Gray, man. What a night. Hey, I want to start off by saying, everybody, please, man, when you tune into the show, hit the like and subscribe button, man. I want to say thank you to all you guys, man, for making the show do what it do. You know what I mean? The subscribers are up. The views are up. Everything is up, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support, man. We love you guys. Show it to them again, big dog. It's You Talk, baby. You already know what it is.
It's You Talk, baby.
E-Gray, tomorrow, we finally get to take a peek at what we've been wanting to see, man, since the end of last year. And that's the progression and having a full camp to get these guys ready for the upcoming season. What are your thoughts and what are you hearing, big dog? Shoot.
Man, well, first of all, I'm glad that we have a spring game because, last year we didn't have one. COVID hit and it derailed everything. And so last year was rushed with everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about tomorrow. And I just want to let all, our fellow Hurricane fans, don't ever look at a spring game like it's going to tell you so much. It ain't going to tell you but so much. First of all, if Manny Diaz is smart, of course, I know he has some intelligence, you keep everything vanilla because guess what? It's televised. You don't want to show too much. You just want to see them pads click, clack, hear that click, clack with them pads, and see them boys, in a physical, competitive nature, and see, strength versus strength, speed versus speed, and see what it do offense and defense. Now, unfortunately, like we talked about pre-show, we've been hit by the injury bug pretty bad. We got 16 players that are out for the spring game. That's not good. Now, fortunately, it doesn't seem to be any of the injuries would carry over to, per se, the regular season or over into the summer. Most of them will be back by May, whatnot, or, July, August or whatnot when everything pans out. But for the most part, I think we'll be fine, but it gives an opportunity for the younger ones that are not injured, get a little bit more playing time, get a little bit more experience, and that's what I'm excited to see. So I'm excited to see, and we ain't gonna talk about positions yet. I'm gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. We gonna get to that. What positions I want to see the young folks excel at, but it's gonna give them an opportunity to shine. And I'm just excited to see that U on the side of the helmet, that orange and green and that white, baby, on a Saturday in March. I love it. It's April. But you know what I mean, April.
It's getting closer. It's here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time for us to have we got a full spring, E. And that's something that we talked about all last season about You know, we wanted to see how the guys would react to a full spring. It's here now. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we got injuries. You know, and from what I'm seeing, a lot of the guys should be back, like you said, around midsummer. I think De'Aaron King is the only one that might be back a little bit later than everybody else from what I'm seeing. But again, man, like you said, definitely looking forward to wanting to see some of the younger guys, man, and see what, I mean, even the coaches that we voted in, man. You know, I just want to see what the coaches are, man. Jeffrey O'Neal is in the building. Our family in the building.
O'Neal, what it do?
It's been a while, Jeffrey O'Neal. I know, big dog, man. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in, man. But yeah, I think Egress gonna be a good game, man. I'm looking forward just to seeing how these guys have developed up underneath the new coaches that we brought in. And I'm just looking at technique. I'm looking at guys like Jalen Rivers. You know, I want to see the other offensive line freshman, McLafton. I want to see him as well.
Yeah, I you know, the big thing I want to see, because everything I've been reading about what Manny Diaz is fired up about, he is fired up about the defensive end. He's talking about that we got more depth at the defensive end position than we had in a few years. You know, he equated it back to when we had Chad Thomas and all of them boys, when we had depth. And it makes sense to what I was listening to what he was saying, that last year we counted on Jalen Phillips. We counted on Quincy Roche because they were playing so many snaps, the boys got tired. And they couldn't sub in and out because we were so inexperienced, we didn't have that depth. Now what he's saying, with the likes of who we were talking about earlier, Cam Williams, who they say is beasting out there. But you got more depth from them other guys like my man that transferred from Tennessee.
DeAndre Johnson.
Yeah. So I want to see if we got that kind of depth, you can rotate them in, rotate them out, versus playing 50 snaps, 40 to 50 snaps, and playing 20 to 30 in the low 30s. You know what I'm saying? So you can rotate them in and out. But I want to see in the spring game tomorrow, I want to see execution. And then I want to see the excitement about we moved some players to different positions. Mm-hmm. We moved your boy that we've been calling for, Amari Carter. We've been saying Amari Carter needs to be a linebacker, right?
Right.
Well, they moved him to the striker position.
Right.
And they say he's shot. Hopefully he can stay on the field because, you know, he can kick out the parking too many times. You know what I'm saying? He's a headhunter, man.
Right.
He don't need to be in that defensive backfield where he get to take that long 10-yard head start. Nah, he need to be close to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
But you get to see him, DeAndre Smith, they done moved him to linebacker. You know what I mean? He was the striker. Mm-hmm. Now they moved him to linebacker.
I think that was a good look, man. I think that was a real good look.
Right. And Zach McLeod is now a defensive end. So I'm just, and that adds to the depth of what I was talking about with the defensive end. So I just want to see tomorrow, I want to see execution. Execution. Nothing has to be perfect. And it's not going to be perfect. It's a spring game. Right. But I want to see execution. I want to see good tackling. I want to see form tackling. I want to see the quarterback. And we haven't even touched on that. I want to see what TVD looks like. I want to see what Garcia looks like. I want to see the execution of plays. I want to see their throwing form. I want to see, can they hit the wide receivers? But most importantly, I want to see if the damn wide receivers catch the ball.
I was waiting on you.
You know what I want to see?
Jeffrey O'Neal.
Tomorrow, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm going to watch both sides of the ball. I promise you I will. But I'm looking at every wide receiver. Every wide receiver. I might have a notebook and write down who's going to be on my shit list.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Jeffrey O'Neal, the game comes on at 11 o'clock tomorrow, ACC Network. ACC Network.
11 a.m. ACC Network. If you ain't a Cane fan, if you're not watching the game in any capacity, and I know my boy D got to watch it on his phone because he's very busy tomorrow. But if you're not trying to look at the game or recording it and looking at it later, don't talk to me about you being I'm excited.
Hey, y'all see my boy excited, man. I am too, man. Jeffrey O'Neal is finally here, man. E-Gray, you know the position that I'm going to be watching. I definitely want to see how Zach McLeod is going to look at defensive end. Now, from what I seen in the bowl game yesterday, what it was the last game of the season, last year. The team, what it is?
I'm the cheesiest coach.
And the cheesiest ball it was last year, we seen Zach McCloud at the defensive end position.
Yep.
We'll see. Good. We'll see how he's coming along. Like you say, E-Gray, full camp, right? Full spring. So we'll see how he's come along at defensive end. But E-Gray, you normally get at the linebacker position. That's what I want to see. I want to see the linebacker position. That's what I'll be watching. Along as as well as the wide receivers too, E-Gray. I'm definitely gonna be looking at the wide receivers.
Of course, but you know what though? The linebacker, everything I've been reading, Manny Diaz they're happy about the linebacking core right now.
Yeah.
And I was shocked, but I'm like, okay, if you like it, I love it. But we gonna see. Like I say, I want to see execution.
Right.
And you know it's always tough because you're a fan. You want to see both sides do well. So it's tough watching the spring game. Goddamn, one of the running backs, Chaney, take one to the house. You excited about Chaney, but he like, where the hell is the linebackers at?
Right.
I'm telling you, you gotta be careful with your emotions when you're watching the spring game.
Definitely.
It's another practice, and it's a scrimmage. That's all it is. And you know what? It brings me to my point and what I've been saying for years on Just Saying, is that I think that colleges should be allowed to scrimmage.
You think so?
On the college. And I've been saying it for years. I don't give a damn if you did a 7-on-7, to be honest with you. Because, NFL, you have preseason. College, you don't. You beating up on each other. And, of course, by the time the season starts, either you got injuries on both sides or, you just tired of beating on each other and you ready to play somebody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you look at it. In the NFL, not only do you have preseason, but they have practices, joint practice, where they scrimmage one another. And I think it's time that college football finally take that step and say, hey, you can have a closed joint practice and do a scrimmage against another team that you would never play. I don't give a doggone if it's a D2 school, you know what I mean? But it's just somebody different.
Right.
Somebody different.
Right.
You don't have to create where, traveling and money can be an issue for some schools. You can do it with the local schools. Hell, we don't play FIU or any of the other schools that's close by all the time.
Right.
If they ain't on the schedule, let's do a joint practice and do a scrimmage, man. Get a different look.
Right.
You get a better feel, man.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting take, man. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that, man. I think that I'm like you, man. Hell, they beating up on each other, beat up on somebody else. Like you're saying, like, and I think we've got 16 people you say that was up?
16 players, man, including 2 tight ends. I don't know what that's gonna do for us because Mallory's out, and I forgot the young guy's name. He's out too. He won't be back till May.
Which one of the others? Is it one of the freshmen? Aurora?
I want to. What's his name?
Arroyo?
No, I can tell you now.
Is it Hodges?
It may be Hodges.
Probably Hodges. Jeffrey O'Neal, you say, man, they say the quarterbacks are looking very good. Hey, man, we gonna see. Benny Barrett, man, in the building. Benny Barrett, what it do, Benny Barrett? What's going on? What's going on? We asked that everybody.
Benny Barrett, what it do, baby?
When you come in, hit that like button. Please hit that like button, man. And if you ain't already subscribed to the show, please.
It's Arroyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arroyo's out with a knee injury. He won't return to the summer.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm going to give everybody an update real quick if you're listening. Bubba Bolden's out with a toe. Sam Brooks is out with a toe. Cleveland Reed, offensive lineman, is out with pectoral. Will Mallory out with a shoulder. Jeremiah Payton out with a knee. Al Blaze is still out recovering, but he's got a stress fracture. You know what I mean? Corey Couch, our guy, out with a neck. Marcus Clark, cornerback, out with a jaw. Brian Ballum out with a neck. Nesta Silva out with a shoulder. Arroyo, like we said, out with a knee. And then, of course, King not coming back till August. And then we also got an offensive lineman, Michael McLaughlin, that's out with a knee.
That's the freshman. Yeah, that's Larry Frank guy right there. What are they saying? What are they saying about his knee?
Don Chaney's out with a shoulder.
Yeah, I know Chaney was out. What are they saying about McLafton's knee? Is it serious, or are they just saying he's supposed to come back midsummer?
Evidently, it's enough to where he's scheduled to come back in August camp along with the same time as De'Aaron King. So evidently, he must have had a procedure in the offseason, a while back, clean something up. I don't know if he tore something, but yeah, he's out as well. And then we have another tight end, Dominic
Mammarelli. Yeah, Mammarelli. Yeah.
He's out too until then. So
what's up with him? What's wrong with him?
A lot of injuries, man. A lot of injuries.
What's up with Mammarelli? What's happening with him? What's up?
They didn't disclose.
Oh, they didn't disclose. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, man. Like you say, man. Perfect time for the younger guys, man, to show what they got. New coaches, man. I want to see what the new coaches have taught these guys, man, that have come back. Jess Simpson. Looking forward to seeing Travarius Robinson, man. Ishmael Aristide. Want to see all of you guys. What are you going to do with the linebackers? I'm hearing good things about the linebackers. I'm hearing good things about Avery Huff. Finally, Avery Huff is getting on the field, man. Finally, after 3 years.
Right.
Finally, we're going to be able to see Avery. I'm hearing Wayne and Steve. What's that?
Been calling for Huff for a while, man.
Been calling for Huff for a while, E-Great, man. They say that he's looking good. Wayne and Steve. They say that Wayne and Steve is looking good. So it's going to be interesting, man. Definitely want to see. Definitely want to see it, man. Looking forward to the spring game tomorrow at 11 a.m. ACC Network. We got some kind of football back tomorrow. Benny Barrett, E. Gray, and Jeffrey O'Neal.
Loving it. And you know what? Before we take phone calls, I know we're going to jump to take phone calls in a minute. I want to touch on something with the draft. I want to talk about the players that left for the draft. And I saw something that really pissed me off earlier today, that they were questioning a lot with Jalen Phillips. Now, I didn't know that Jalen Phillips had all of these past injuries before he got cut. Mm-hmm. He got hit by a car or something like that.
I didn't know that.
So evidently, he had a real bad wrist injury when he was at UCLA.
Okay.
Yes, kind of shredded his wrist. Then he had an ankle issue. Well, we knew about the ankle issue because he had ankle issues a little bit when he was with us. But then I didn't know he had 3 concussions when he was at UCLA. And so now they're questioning his medical issues, and also they're questioning his character issues because punk-ass Jim Moore Jr., that was the coach of UCLA at the time.
And your Falcons.
Listen, you know how I feel. Well, you should know how I feel about Jim Moore Jr. being a Falcon fan. I can't stand this punk ass. He had his punk ass daddy calling Michael Vick a coach killer. Your son cannot coach, sir, not on the NFL level at all. And evidently, he ain't worth a damn in college either.
All right.
He threw out there. He tried to throw Jalen Phillips under the bus and made a quote of saying that, well, it just wasn't the medical issues that was the issue with Jalen Phillips here at UCLA. But I'm not going to talk too much about it. Well, what was it?
Right.
He didn't get in trouble with the law. As far as we know, it's not on the record. So why are you going to throw the man up under the bus when he's getting ready to go to the draft? Why would you do that now?
Well, you heard.
Why would you do that now? And I think it's terrible. And you know what? Miami coaches, thank goodness, they talk good about Jalen's character and this and that and third. But it's like you got people that are trying to sabotage this man's draft status. And you know what, Jalen Phillips? If you're listening, if you don't go in the first round, there's always a spot for you in the second round to come on to Atlanta.
You want him in the ATL?
Yeah, you damn right.
But Chris Collinsworth said that Jalen Phillips is the best player in the draft, man, hands down. That's what Chris Collinsworth said. So he said he's the best prospect.
I commend Chris Collinsworth for saying that. A lot of times, even though he's talking about a hurricane guy, and I love it, but you can't listen to Chris Collinsworth. He half drunk on every goddamn Sunday night.
No, you didn't.
It's some of the dumbest shit in the world.
That's Tremaine Daniels.
I love Michael Irvin. But Michael Irvin said that Dak Prescott is the closest thing to Tom Brady. I said, Coach, And look, somebody posted on my Facebook page that cocaine's a hell of a drug, Mike Irvin. I said, I'm not going to go that far because you know I love Mike Irvin.
Tremaine Daniels, what's up, man? What it do, big dog? What's up, Tremaine Daniels in the building? Hey, man, like I say, Michael Irvin gonna say whatever about them Cowboys. You already know that, E-Gray. Them is boy there. But Jalen Phillips, I'm like you, man. Prove it wrong. Come in there, man. Work hard, man. You gonna get drafted, big dog. And when you get your opportunity, shine. That's all you got to do. Prove all the naysayers wrong. That's it, bro. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Exactly. I'm looking forward to it, though, E, man. Football tomorrow, man. All Canes tomorrow. 11 a.m. All Hurricanes tomorrow. And E, it's an early game. So see, you can get up in the morning, E. You're gonna be ready for it, ain't you?
I'm telling you, I'm getting up early, running my errands I gotta do, so I can be back, get some food in my stomach, go up. You know, I wait till the weekend to get it in.
Right.
So I'm gonna get it in. I got a real good excuse to get it in on an early Saturday. Hey, D, I try to wait till later in the afternoon on a Saturday when it's not football season. But now I got a good excuse. But I wanted to say one more thing. We was talking about the draft. Greg Russo is going first round. If he doesn't go first round, it's criminal. And I would love to take him even over Jalen Phillips to Atlanta. And I got one more thing to say about the draft. You know how I feel about the University of Florida. I'm so sick of hearing about Kyle Pitts like he's the best goddamn tight end prospect since sliced bread.
He gonna be good, E. E, he gonna be good, E. E.
Yeah.
Hey, no, E, don't do that. And I know you hate. I know you hate Florida, E. But you know, E, no, E.
About it because I don't see where is he that much better than Brevin Jordan?
I think he is. I think he is. And I like Brevin. But Brevin has stayed hurt. But if you're talking about, man, just fast, you can put him anywhere, man. You can line him up on the outside, inside. Man, Pitts, he fast, E, he run good routes. He good, E. I can't take nothing away from him. You know football. I know you hate your Gators. But let me ask you this. If you can get him in Atlanta, E, what?
We bet not spend on the fourth.
You full of it. You full of it. Hey, man, our brother in the building. Josh Ayers, what it do? Our brother in the building. Josh Ayers, you hear him, Josh? Hey, he talking about Pitts from Florida, man. He act like he wouldn't take Pitts. He wouldn't take Pitts in the first round if he fell in his lap over in Atlanta. And he need him. He need him, Josh.
Oh, yeah, he ain't nervous.
Hey, Josh Ayers, talk to us.
I just better draft number defense early.
I know. Hey, how you think I feel? About my Raiders? But you know John Gruden. If it's a wide receiver, anything with speed, he gonna take him in the first. You already know he gonna mess us up.
For sure.
Josh Ayers, talk to us. What you want to see and who you want to see in the spring game tomorrow, man? 11 a.m. on the ACC network. Who you looking to see, Josh Ayers?
Yes, sir.
Me and E talking about the linebackers and the wide receivers. We want to see
we got time to take a phone call before the Larry Frank set.
Yeah. We got 5 minutes before LFJ comes on. Anybody want to call up, man? I'm going to flash the number real quick. We got 5 minutes, man. The telephone number is 404-462-0477. That's 404-462-0477. Y'all go ahead and call on up if you want to. 404-462-0477. We got like 5 minutes before LFJ come on, man, and give his you take of the week, man. So
LFJ, that's a new one. I got to start using that.
Listen, man. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you how he got off this morning, boy. E. Let me tell you what he did. E. You know he from Louisiana. E. You know that's where he stay, right? So he posed the question. E. This morning. He holla, no limit or cash money. Did you see him? Did you see it? And then E. He wouldn't even give an answer, E. He wouldn't even give an answer. He gonna throw it out there, E. And then want to back up off of it, E. You know, E. I told him, E. I love me some Master P. That's our era, E. I love me some P. But give me them hot boys, E. Give me the hot boys from over there at Cash Money, E. Give me the hot. Give me Lil Wayne and BG, man. Give me the hot boys, man.
I hold both of them crews dear to my heart, man, because I remember being in high school pumping that No Limit, bro.
504 Bull in the building. Sorry to cut you off, but 504 Bull in the building, man. Talk to him, E.
Yeah, No Limit holds a special place in my heart, man. I was in high school pumping that No Limit Soldier, bro.
So who you gonna take, E? Well, give me yours, E. Don't be tippy-toeing around it. Who you got?
Man, you know I gotta go with Master P.
You taking P? You taking P? E Gray say he taking P. We gonna bite Larry Frank up tonight. Man, who y'all got, man? I want to know. Oh, 504 say he got the warfare. He got the warfare over No Limit. He going with Cash Money? Okay. You going with Cash Money?
It's Jeffrey O'Neal. Look, y'all ain't gonna start this. Look, we starting a fresh slate from now on. Y'all ain't gonna throw my Falcons under the bus. He just want to talk trash and throw my Falcons under the bus.
Benny Barrett rolling with No Limit. Benny Barrett rolling with E Gray. No Limit. Give me BG 504 boy. I take BG overall. Give me Juvie. I take the hot boys, Josh. Yeah. I take the hot boy. Give me the hot boy. Larry Frank finna call up here in a little while, y'all. We gonna back him into a corner and get his answer, man. He didn't want to pick this morning, man. I started to hit you up, E, and tell you see this joker. He done started all this mess and won't pick nobody. But E, man, back to our case, man. Which one of the wide receivers do you think is gonna make the biggest step forward this year? Talk to me.
The new acquisition, Charleston Rambo.
Oh, they say he look good.
Everything I'm hearing, they say he that guy. And, it goes back to what I always say about guys being hungry. This man trying to go to the NFL. He's trying to go early, trying to go as high as he can go. He on the mission. And it's just up to the rest of these young guys if they're going to follow. And I'm not going to mention number 8. And number is it number 6?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mention number 8 and number 6. But if they want to follow, they can follow. They got to do what they need to do. But I want to see who is ready to follow. And what's your young boy, the wide receiver, who we talked about a little bit last year, it showed flashes that might be that guy.
He hurt. He hurt, E. Peyton.
Right.
Peyton hurt, too. He hurt.
I didn't see him on the injury.
Yeah, they say he hurt. You ain't see him on
No. He ain't on. Oh, yeah, he is. But no, not Jeremiah Payton. It was the other one.
You talking about, I know you talking about, damn, I can't call his name right now. He out of IMG. Dang, what's his name?
Young boy, man, he got good size on him, man.
Yeah, I can't call his name right now, man. Jeffrey O'Neal, Josh Ayers probably know who he's talking.
I know Larry Frank don't know his name.
Yeah. I know you talking about. He's out of IMG though, man. But he kind of, he played sparingly last year too. I want to see if a lot of those guys, even the freshmen, man. Do you see one of those freshmen coming in like Brashard Smith, one of those guys, man, that's coming in, man? Because they say he electric too.
Hey, man, why not? The wide receiver, as far as I'm concerned, is wide open.
Right. But they say Rambo's showing out, bro. I'm hearing Rambo. They say Rambo doing this thing.
You know what? For Manny to come out and say, he said that we haven't had a wide receiver that can take the top off the defense, that make defenses say, you know what? We got to watch out for this guy. Mm-hmm. He can take the top off at any time. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying about Rambo, saying he can take the top off. He a deep threat.
But that's all we needed, man. We needed somebody that can also, man, can make contested catches, man, down the field, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just come down with at least 2 of them 50-50 balls, E. Just at least 2 of them, bro. That's all we need. Those were different makers in the game. Oh, man, he's in the building, man. He's in the building, E. Gray. We finna bring him on in, man. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies to the gentlemen, coming to the stage, we got our boy, man. We got our boy, Louisiana's finest, man. He started a big controversy this morning on Facebook, man. You hear him every show, man. He comes on with his Jew tape. We gonna bring him in, and I'm gonna back him into a corner before he get off the phone, E. Gray. Coming to the stage, we got my boy, Mr. Larry Frank Jr., Louisiana's finest in the building. Larry Frank Jr., talk to us.
What's up, D? What's happening? Bro, E, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
Larry Frank Jr., what it do, baby?
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm cooling. Man, what's this mess you started, man? What you talking about? I started a mess.
You know what you did, man. You know what? You ain't really come on here acting like you don't know what I'm talking about. You hear me? Talk to him, E. You see me? You see what he doing?
Yeah, he started.
Oh, bro, y'all down bad for this, boy.
Hey, I'm gonna get it out to you tonight, man. But you know what? Before you even get into your U take, man, he done gave here. He said he taking Master P. I got them Cash Money boys. Who you got, Larry Frank? You can't be like that.
Oh man, now you know I'm impartial. You know man. I told, like I said this morning, man. That's like if you got a couple of children, you know you can't be publicly picking your favorite child. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna cause a family fight, man.
I gotta counter that, Larry Frank. I gotta counter that, Larry Frank, because you say that, but everybody I know that has multiple kids, they always say on the low, it's always the oldest child. The first child is always the favorite. They won't tell the other kids that, but it's
well, I'm gonna tell you something.
Child, the oldest child.
Let me dispel that theory right quick, because I got three. I got three, and I love all three of mine dearly. But I'm sorry, my oldest one definitely ain't my favorite. So don't tell her I said that. But like I say, I love them all equally. I love them equally. Hey, I ain't picking no favorite. Hey, it's hard for me, man. I can't sit up here and pick one over the other, man, because like I say, they went nationwide. Everybody else got on them. We was down here bumping them, when they was local. So, I can't. If you from Louisiana, you can't do it, bro. Real talk. If you from Louisiana, either you can't do it or it's hard to do.
I got my boy. Hey, I got my boy in the building. I got my homeboy, one of my good friends, 504 Bull in the building. He say he going with Master P. That's what you say, boy. Did you say Cash Money or No Limit? He from down there where you from too. Benny Barry laughing at you, Larry Frank.
Okay, all right.
Benny Barry laughing at you, man. They want you to pick somebody, man. You got to. Okay, who you like just a little bit more than the other one, then, Larry Frank?
All right, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna go this far. This is how I'm gonna group it. It depends on my mood.
Okay.
If I'm in the mood, and I'm going back to my younger days because I'm 44, I don't do this no more. But back in the day in the 90s, if I was in the mood to party, have fun, and just enjoy life, I had to roll with Cash Money. But if I was in a mood where I had it on my mind and I had a problem with somebody, I had to roll with No Limit. So,
well put.
It all depends. It all depends on the mood and what your evening is going to become. Because at 504, listen, 504 Bull. If he's from down here, he can tell you. It down here in the city, down here in New Orleans, hey, bro, you partying. You having cookouts, you going to the lake, you going to the club, it's going to be a fight, it's going to be, bro, life in New Orleans is life in New Orleans. So that's how I'm going to leave it. It's all on what you're getting into.
Okay.
That determines who my favorite is. I listen to all of it because my playlist on my title, I got it grouped as New Orleans, and I got them all mixed in. I got Wayne, followed by P, followed by Juvie, followed by one Silk song, only because Silk had Mystical in them featured.
Right, because I couldn't do Silk the Shocker.
Man.
E-Gray, I couldn't do Silk the Shocker, E-Gray.
Silk gotta be the worst rapper ever. How you rap off beat? Man, look, let me tell you something. That's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
I won't take up all the time.
Right.
Hey, bro, I DJ, so you know music. You know me. I get into it with music.
Let's get into some Utah.
Let's go ahead on and get into it. What's up?
What you got for us, L. Frank, man? Who you want to see tomorrow in this scrimmage tomorrow, man? Who you want to see?
I want to see collectively, it's two things I want to see. The first thing, individually, I want to see Avante Williams because I've been reading and looking it up, and they've been saying that he's been balling. They've been saying that he's been making catches. He's been open field tackles. He's been hitting, and he's just got a whole renewed approach since he came back. Because remember, he had that injury last year. They found in that preseason injury or whatever that they held him out for the season. It was a lingering injury that he brought out of high school, and it could have really hurt him in his future. So in his best interest, they just let him sit all year last year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been medically cleared, and he's ready to go. And what I'm hearing and what I'm reading and what I'm seeing is that he's really, in the secondary, he's really making a name for himself right now, which is pretty much what he was expected to do. So I want to see what he's going to do defensively in that secondary. But the main thing I want to look at, I want to see the offensive line as a whole. Because the reason why I want to see the offensive line as a whole, I want to look at their blocking. I want to look at just everything, pass blocking, run blocking, seeing if they're, in sync as far as, the snap counts and making sure that they're together.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep something in mind here. For the first time in a long time, we've had, a handful of guys here that were starters. But they really didn't get the reps, and they got cheated out of the spring and all of that stuff, last year with the COVID. But this time, you really are too deep on that O-line. You got depth. You got a lot of position battles that you can really go either or in a lot of these cases. For instance, you got Zion and John Campbell at that left tackle spot. You can go either one. Either one can be a starter. So one is going to make the other one better. Ja'Kai Clark and Rivers at the left guard spot, same thing. You three deep at the center position with Gaynor, Clark, and Reed. Now, Reed is out, obviously. He's injured, but you kind of get where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
You finally have gotten some depth, and you're able to really work with them in a full offseason. And Garin Justice is really, I think, going to put his stamp on it by having a whole season. You saw the progress that they made coming out of 2019. They still were pretty, they had their chinks in the armor, because obviously you didn't have the spring to really get that full cohesiveness going, as coming out of the spring, going into the summer workouts and eventually in the fall camp. But you saw the progression when they came out of 2019 when it was a disaster, and you saw some progression going into 2020. And what I'm looking forward to tomorrow the most is looking at that whole unit, because now you've had an entire spring. You've got these schemes down. You've got the playbook. You've been able to get your reps in. And it's going to continue going into the spring, to the summer, and furthermore into the fall, ultimately leading up to that Alabama game. So I want to see all of that. DJ Scaife versus Jared Williams at the right tackle position. That's the battle out of the whole offensive line that I'm looking at, because Scaife, he's been there since day one. Williams was the transfer that came to Houston with King. Either one of them could be a starter.
Well, you
I'm
forgot
feeling
one.
good about the depth.
Not to cut you off. So what's your opinion on Levon Donaldson? So where you see him playing at, you think that?
Well, Donaldson's really, to me, Donaldson has the capability to be all ACC if he's not hurt. You got to remember, Donaldson's injuries can kind of plague him over the course of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gonna be starting right guard if he's healthy. To your point.
Yes.
And
yes.
I would say this
yes.
also. I remember maybe about a week ago, Manny Diaz said that because the first scrimmage, the defense dominated and the offense looked like trash.
Right.
And he came out and said the second scrimmage, he said, shit, the offensive line dominated the defense. So to your point,
exactly.
and I don't know, who was dominating on the offensive line in that second scrimmage, but I did hear Donaldson's name quite a few times. So maybe he's healthy, man. I don't know, but that's a big point.
That's the key right there, because Donaldson was kind of the gem of his class as far as the offensive lineman when he came in a few years ago. But unfortunately, those nagging injuries have plagued him.
Right.
So now, like I said, if he can just stay healthy, and here's the thing, I mean, you two deep and even three deep in some positions, you can rotate. So guess what? You can keep them fresh. And like I said, if he can stay healthy, I think he can really anchor that line. Bottom line, and if Zion can bring it,
yep.
You may have one of the low-key best offensive lines in football, because you got to remember, this is their third year together.
That's right.
Second year in the Lashley scheme. And you got all of that, and now you got that full spring to really get together. Hey, man, that's what I want to see, the whole O-line group, and that's the biggest thing I'm looking at for tomorrow.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Larry Frank. That's a big deal. We touched on that earlier too, and we talked about it a couple shows ago about the offensive line having that maturity and that veteranship and can take us a long way because, people that are common football fans, that all they want to hear is the name of the wide receivers and running backs and the quarterback. They want flash, flash, flash. But they don't understand that nothing can operate on an offense if you don't have an offensive line. And that's one of the biggest things that we have going for us this year, going into this year. But I want to ask you this question, going to the opposite side.
Yes.
D and I was talking about the defensive line and how Manny was fired up about the depth of the defensive ends coming into this year. What do you feel about the defensive end depth? Do you think you see some talent there? And are you very much looking forward to seeing what we can have on tomorrow in the scrimmage or the spring game?
I'm excited because, one, you got Jess Simpson coaching. So regardless of your depth, you already know you got to upgrade in coaching on the D-line. I mean, his track record speaks for itself. We go back, a couple of years, Garvin and Gerald Willis and Joe Jackson and all of them, his track record as far as his coaching ability speaks for itself. So just the mere fact that he's coaching alone gives me a lot of confidence right there. Now, at first, and you could go back, it's archived in the past shows, especially I think we was one of the shows going into the bowl game. At first, I was not a fan of Zach McCloud moving to DN. However,
I remember.
after taking a little time to digest it and really kind of look at it for what it is, Zach McCloud, his skill set, or should I say what his skill set brings, is going to flourish, I think, the best at that defensive end position. And on top of that, he's going to maximize his potential, and he's going to get coached up by Jess Simpson. I think McCloud is going to make an impact, because keep in mind, he hasn't done nothing since his freshman year. His biggest impact was made as a freshman. Last couple of years, he hasn't done anything.
The killer three.
Right. But look at what he had surrounding him. So not to take away from his ability, but you saw that when he's got a cast of characters around him, that helped him to become who he needed to be. Now, they get out of Dodge, they move on, graduate, go to the league and say not or whatever. So guess what? Now, and he has to step up at that linebacker position. He didn't pay dividends.
Nope.
So guess what? Somebody knew, this guy has more upside, or could have more upside at the DN position. Let's try it. And guess what? You kind of saw, in the bowl game or whatever, you saw potential, because he did make a play here and there. I think the bowl game was a test run at that position or whatever. So when it's all said and done, now that he's fully there with Jess Simpson coaching, and he's going to have a solid group alongside of him up front, I think that he's really going to be – he's going to make a name for himself. I think he's going to play himself into the NFL. Maybe not a first or a second-round pick, but I think he'll be like a second-day, maybe a third-day selection. I think because with Jess Simpson coaching him, I think he can go ahead and play himself to at least fifth round, maybe as high as the fourth round, because he's got the ability.
Absolutely. So moving on from the defensive line, going back to one of the things that D said he's looking at, which is linebacker core. Now, I know you heard Amari Cooper has been moved to striker, and they say he's looking good. And then you got my man Keontre Smith moving basically from striker to linebacker. How do you see that playing out, and what you you interested in seeing on tomorrow? Just from an overall perspective with the linebacker core.
Amari Carter will be a superstar this year. Book it. The reason why I'm saying that.
I like that.
The reason why I'm saying he's going to be a superstar is because if you saw how he played, and listen, brother got ejected. I can't fault him for that because his style of play.
Look, Larry Frank, like I told D, and Larry Frank, we said this before, you can't give him 10 yards to run up and hit somebody. He got to be closer to the line, baby.
and that's the thing. With him being closer to the line of scrimmage, he can play his style of football. Amari is an old school type of player, a physical type of player. And in this new game, you can't be that physical that far off the ball, because guess what? When you're that far off the ball and you're that physical, you're getting flagged and you're getting tossed out every which chance they can get. Now that you're playing 5 to 7 yards or whatever off the ball, guess what? You can be physical. You can overfield tackle. You can bring it, and guess what? It will be very hard, unless it's an ultimate helmet to helmet. It's going to be very hard to eject him for that. So I think moving him, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to put him at the weak side. He's going to be at the weak side, and in that striker position. And that's a good thing, because
he's going to be striker, and Keontre Smith is moving from striker to weak. So moving on to the secondary real quick.
Okay.
First of all, how you see them playing out, and do you think Tariq Stevenson transferred? That's the guy from Georgia, right, D? Tariq Stevenson?
Yeah.
First of all, I think he's going to start immediately, and I've heard good things about him. But how you see the secondary playing out? Of course, spring game tomorrow, we got some injuries. Bubba Bolden's out, of course, and whatnot. And right now, Amari Carter is one of the, tomorrow you'll probably see him play striker and safety. He'll probably rotate a little bit because of the lack of depth and injury. But how you see the secondary shaking out?
Secondary will be much better. Ain't no doubt about it. I think they'll be more fundamentally sound. I think the coaching, better coaching. We've been screaming that for the longest. Their fundamentals will be better. I'm sorry that Blades is out, because I really wanted to see Blades. In this spring, because I still say Blades and Ivy is I really think that's going to be a battle at that corner spot. Stevenson is pretty much, in my opinion, he's going to lock down that one starting corner spot on one side.
So you think Takori Couch went healthy, because he's out too? So Takori Couch going to be a nickelback?
I would hope. That's really what I would hope, because Takori Couch is versatile. He's fast.
Yeah.
He's physical. He can make a play on the ball.
Wide receiver on the field.
He can exactly. You get somebody in the slot, and a lot of times last year we got burned by wide receivers in the slot or whatever. Couch and Couch was really, he was probably, I don't want to say the most solid, because he didn't get every game an opportunity to get in there and do his thing. But when he got in, he showed what he can do. So if you got Ivy, and listen, people went hard on Ivy before. Ivy improved as the season went on last year. He did improve. I mean, a lot of people, they were hating on him because coming out of 2019, he got burnt. But Ivy improved his game from 2019 to 2020. So you have to take into consideration, if it's Ivy battling Blades, whoever wins that starting spot, Stevenson on the other side, you got your corners, and if you put Couch at the nickel, and now you got Bolden, and then you got a good problem here, because now you got Cam Kinchins. He's got to get some action. You got to see what he can do. Avonte Williams, he's got to get some action. You're going to see what he can do. You still got Gervin Hall. You actually go from having a secondary that everybody was upset about and really just complaining about. You got a secondary of talent that now, if you coach them up, you can rotate them guys. And guess what? You can feel good, in third and long, because guess what? You got better coach guys, and you got skilled players that can play that ball better than what you had in last year, for sure. So I love, like I said, and for me, it's the T-Rob factor. It's the T-Rob factor, and the fact that he's in here and he's coaching them up. Like I said, hey, we went in on Blake Baker, but Blake Baker was not getting the job done, and when it was also, and Banda wasn't either, as far as the position coach. And with T-Rob coming in there, and it's hard for me to even put into words how excited I am. And I can't wait to see, what's going to happen, because it's a long time coming, and everything is going to get put together. And this is something else. All of our staff coaches, or not all of them, but most of them, were actual OCs and are former head coaches in some form of capacity, assistant head coaches, I should say. So it's not like you got a group of assistants they're going to be trying to figure this out or trying to figure that out. You got assistants that they ran the show at their respective teams in the past. So you got a whole room of coaches that when it's time to game plan, when it's time to scheme, when it's time to break down film on the opposition, you got coaches that are capable enough to say, look, we need to do this. We need to adjust to that. This is not going to work. And you got to feel better about that. You didn't have that, I don't think, last year, because last year I think everybody was just kind of guessing and hoping. Now you got a coaching staff that you can say, hey, they're going to take the bull by the horn, and they're going to go ahead on and put their stamp on it and make it happen.
And that was going to be my last question to you.
Closing out, Larry Frank, let me ask you this. The biggest position that we all got pissed off about a lot last year, the wide receiver position. We ain't going to say the names. Number 8.
You know I won't.
6.
You know I won't.
I know you won't.
I don't even want to say their number. I don't even want to say their number. Just say them people. You want to
acknowledge the number. I know. I get it. All right. So I'm excited about everything I'm hearing about Charleston Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I want to see. I can't lie. That's one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to other than the quarterback, right? I just want to see how the quarterbacks, how they sling it, how they look, how they connecting with the wide receivers. I just want to see if there's any kind of chemistry there. But I just want to see the aggression and the aggressiveness of the wide receivers. And like D said earlier, can they get a 50-50 ball? Can they go for the ball and be aggressive and go get it? What you excited to see about the wide receivers? And how you feel about number 8 and number 6?
See, you trying to set me up, and I ain't taking the bait. You trying to set me up, but I ain't biting on it. You trying to make me cuss. I ain't cussing. I ain't going to cuss tonight. But look, real talk, all jokes aside, Rambo I'm excited about because Rambo comes from Oklahoma where they had to share the duties, like the way they disperse the passes and everything like that. Mm-hmm. You didn't have one feature receiver that was just, 1,000, 12, 13, whatever, 100-yard receiver. You didn't have that. They were fighting to get theirs. Now, on paper, Rambo's stats may not be impressive, but at the end of the day, his skill set is. And I think Rambo choosing to come to Miami, Rambo realizes this. I know I'm a number 1 receiver. I should have been a number 1 receiver at Oklahoma, and I'm a number 1 receiver right now. So I think Rambo comes here with a chip on his shoulder, and I think with Rambo coming in with a chip on his shoulder, Rambo is going to ball out because guess what? He's trying to play his way into the NFL. All of these, let me tell you something. When you find a transfer and they come from a big-time program and they transfer to another big-time program, even though Miami ain't been, big-time on paper in the last 15 whatever years, Miami is still Miami. Miami, if you ball out, you still go to the NFL as a Miami Hurricane. Miami is still a pipeline to the NFL in some form or fashion. When you come from a school like Oklahoma that's a playoff contender, pretty much you're going to make the playoff. You're going to pretty much contend for a conference championship. And you transfer down here, guess what? You transfer to Miami to give yourself an opportunity to go to the NFL. Mm-hmm. You saw this with Gerald Willis. You saw this with Jalen Phillips. You saw this, Quincy Roche.
Yeah.
And you're going to see this now with Charleston Rambo. Rambo is not coming to South Beach just to say, I just want to pad the stats a little bit better. Rambo is coming to South Beach to say, I'm going to be a number 1 receiver. Let me tell you something. He knew our receivers were underperforming last year. So what happens? He made a business decision for himself. I'm going to go to Miami. I'm going to ball out. I'm going to get myself into a position where I get drafted next year. That's what you're going to see, and I think that is going to motivate him to ball out, and Rambo is going to be one of the top dog receivers in the conference. Look for Rambo to ball out. A side note to that, I want you to keep your eyes on Restrepo, as we call him X, and God rest the dead, the DMX, but, hey, I'm telling you, this X right here I think this X right here is about to make his name known because he was cutting up in spring the last couple of weeks. Now, he kind of subsided a little bit this week, but the last week before last, and last week as well, he was making his name known. He was getting catches. He was going up. He was making spectacular plays. He's trying to make a name for himself. And also, my personal favorite, Keyshawn Smith. I'm looking for him to also step up if given the opportunity. And obviously, Harley is motivated because if you remember, after that North Carolina game when we got smoked, when they were celebrating on the field, Harley was standing there just on the opposite end just watching them. And Harley had started coming on late in the season anyway. He struggled the first half of the year, but he came on the second half. And upon that debacle against North Carolina, he was watching them. Harley got it on his mind, too. So hopefully, Lashley and Likens, they can get with Manny and basically break it down to like, look, I know you like to, in years past, you like to keep allegiance to the upperclassmen, but we got to go with skill over class. And at this point, unless they're outdoing these boys in practice, you got to go with your young guns over 8 and 6. And if they don't like it, that's what the portal's for.
That's what's up.
That's what the portal's for because I want Keyshawn Smith. That's the one we was trying to think of when I was trying to think of his name, D. Keyshawn Smith.
I thought you was talking about Redding. I thought you was talking about Redding, the other one, too.
Yeah, but it was Keyshawn Smith.
Oh, okay.
Smith.
All right. Well, dang, man. Larry Frank Jr., man. Hey, that's a good take, big dog. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Larry.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I appreciate y'all, man. I love coming on here doing what we do, and like I say, man, I will be watching and taking notes, and like I say, man, we the main thing is tomorrow, man, we already got injuries. Let's just and you're not gonna have a spring game or scrimmage or practice or whatever without some bumps and bruises and nicks and scrapes, so that's to be expected. Let's just hope and pray, we can get out this game unscathed and no major injuries, and the guys could rest up and moving into May and June, and we get all of the regular guys back, and we could be at full force for Alabama. Because I'm gonna give you something right quick before I go. In 2 weeks when we do this again, I'm gonna go ahead on and give you the subject matter, but I ain't gonna go into it because this is gonna be major right here, and I want y'all to remember, and I want y'all to remind me. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna detail why we can beat Alabama. Not saying why we will, because I don't want people to start tripping like, oh man, it's Alabama. I'm just gonna detail why we can, because it's a lot of interesting stuff that I basically uncovered, and it's not really with Miami. It's more about Alabama. I'm gonna break that down. I'm gonna let the fans. I'm gonna let everybody kind of have that on their mind. Be like, man, what you done found out? So 2 weeks. That's what we're gonna talk about. Why we can beat Alabama.
That's what's up.
We're gonna hold you to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, LFJ, man. We appreciate it, man. That's Larry's You Take for the week, man. Thank you, big dog, man. We'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. And y'all have a great weekend. And Utah family, y'all have a great weekend as well. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, Larry
Yes,
Frank. All right.
Larry Frank Jr.
It's Utah, baby.
And I got a surprise for you guys, man, on the next show as well, man. A little teaser, man, with Larry Frank Jr., man, coming up in the next 2 weeks, man. Me and E-Gray got a little surprise for you guys. So I ain't going to stay on that long tonight, man. I enjoyed everybody. I know it's been a while. We got to get everybody back in our rotation, man, and get everybody back in the chat, man. I'm sorry, man. Been busy. But we're going to get everything back right, man, on the scheduled shows every 2 weeks. E-Gray, man, would you like to say some departing words before we get out of here, big dog? Talk to him about the game tomorrow, man.
11 a.m. ACC Network. You better be watching if you're a real Canes fan. If you can't watch in the conventional way on the television, watch it on your phone. If you can't watch it at the time that it's live, make sure you catch the recap online. If you ain't, you ain't a Canes fan. Oh.
That's E-Gray, y'all. E-Gray. Spring game tomorrow, man. 11 a.m., man. ACC Network, man. I have to catch it from my phone. I got a lot to do tomorrow, man, but I'm going to be watching my Canes, man. You know, E-Gray going to be up early, man, like he always do, sitting in front of the TV ready, man, for his Canes tomorrow in the spring game. We just want to see everybody compete. We want to see the coaches, man. Try to stay healthy, man. No more injuries, please, man. Just good technique, man, and we just want to see you guys come out, man, with a good showing, man. So, E-Gray, man, you know how we do it, man. Brother, it's been real, man. Enjoyed you tonight, man. I'll see you back in about 2 weeks, bro. We'll do it again, big dog.
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all. Y'all know how we start every show. And you know how we end every show. It ain't no us. Without you, baby.
You know.
And we are.
It's you talk, baby.